Just a heads up to you folks sitting with a notebook and pen, Mishki, the new podcast here in Garage Logic Land, is now coming out twice a week, Wednesdays and Fridays. If you're in fact scribbling this down, Wednesday is kind of tough to spell. It's not like it sounds. You want to spell it W-E-N-Z, but that, of course, would be a mistake. Friday is spelled just like it sounds. You're going to be okay there, but Wednesday's a bugaboo. Let me tell you, people, just a pain in the patootie. Jeez, it's hard.
Don't miss the season's biggest and best rummage sale Saturday, September 13th and Sunday, September 14th at the Shoreview Arena, Highway 96 in Victoria. Saturday early bird admission 7 to 9 a.m. is $5, and after that, it's free. Unbelievable deals, and many items go for half price on Sunday. Go both days. There's lots of furniture and a special collection of our favorite things featuring the best of the sale. Art, children's and teens clothing, upscale clothing, boutique and beautiful jewelry, books, toys, bikes, holiday decor and craft supplies, electronics, household items, sporting goods, luggage, tools, gardening, pet items, shoes and purses, and so much more. Proceeds from the sale benefit Children's Hospital Association, helping patients and families at Children's Minnesota. More information at northoaksrummagesale.org. That's Saturday, September 13th from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. and Sunday, September 14th from 9 to 2 p.m. at the Shoreview Arena, Highway 96 and Victoria.
Josh Arnold, investment consultant, brings you Garage Logic podcast number 1616, September 10th, 2025. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. 104 degrees on this day in 1931, and 37 degrees was the record low on this day in 1917. Call Josh Arnold at 952-925-5608 for a free 48-minute consultation.
Hail the flashlight king.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Heidt in the newsroom, and of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Souchere.
The tragedy at Annunciation was 2 weeks ago today.
Oh, man.
And GL wants to once again remind you of the important work of first responders by throwing our support behind the Frontline Foundation. The Frontline Foundation exists to support these brave men and women in their time of need, no matter what that is, including the payout of death benefits to families when a first responder dies in the line of duty and makes that ultimate sacrifice for others. Let's make sure our first responders know that GLers have their backs, and here's how you can do that. Go to garagelogic.com/donate. That's garagelogic.com/donate. You can also find out more information at garagelogic.com. And if you want to know more about the Frontline Foundation, it's the FrontlineMN.org.
Did you see, by the way, today on Alpha News, Liz Collin, and I don't remember if this was a recent interview or if this was a while back, but they reran a story because, is it Shannon Owen, the widow of Josh Owen, who was killed?
I saw that.
She had some things to say about this new effort to ban guns in the state of Minnesota. It's actually a pretty good read. I recommend it highly.
Here it is. Okay, theme lately has been we're broken.
I'll say.
That culture is dying. By that we mean the unwritten civil contract between us all. There's a good example of that with this horrible incident on a light rail train in Charlotte, North Carolina, where a Ukrainian woman who apparently was here legally, is that important to know, I wonder? Irina Zarutska, 23, was killed by a fellow, and that story continues to gain traction in the news because he had an incredibly long criminal record. And he was out amongst us, there being maybe no place to put him. But there's a quote, I want to read a paragraph from one of the many stories that it wasn't covered initially. But it certainly is made up for lost time. This is example of how we're broken. Security footage of Zarutska's killing shows her being abruptly stabbed in the neck by a passenger seated behind her without any provocation. Seconds later, without receiving help or any visible concern from other train passengers, Zarutska collapsed to the train floor where she later was pronounced dead. I have seen the video of that, where the other passengers are filming her agony. They're not doing anything to help her.
I don't get it.
And if you want to be worried about something in this country, I wouldn't waste your time worrying about climate change, for example. I'd worry about that.
And in that video, you hear this despicable human being say, I got her. I got that white B word.
But what you do in that case is you try to stem the bleeding. So you would rip off your shirt or something and stuff the hole so she doesn't bleed to death, and then tell other people, call 911, do something. I saw people standing around and using their phones to film her as she bled out on the floor. Now, ironically, Jordy sent me a quote today regarding a dying culture. I don't know if he had Charlotte in mind at all, but it's from Robert Heinlein, who was a very noted science fiction writer. He died in 1988, but this quote is attributed to Robert Heinlein. A dying culture invariably exhibits personal rudeness, bad manners, lack of consideration for others, a loss of politeness, of gentle manners is more significant than is a riot. I would contend that you saw every bit of that in this example from this incident in Charlotte, North Carolina. Lack of consideration for others. Actually, what he said is lack of consideration for others in minor matters. And, of course, this was a major matter. But the inability of these passengers to do anything useful or to actually care began with them. I feel terribly comfortable seeing it. Began with them also ignoring others in minor matters, so that when it came time to act on a major matter, they were not interested in it. So there you are. I don't know how else to approach that. That to me presents more danger to the human race than virtually anything else you can come up with.
Can I offer a ray of hope along those lines?
Sure.
Whenever there's a nasty crash on the freeway, I see multiple Good Samaritans pulling over and running to assist the victims, the crash victims, pulling them out of burning cars.
Yes.
Yesterday it was kids on the bus. And I attribute this, a lot of them, they remind me of GLers and good old boys who can't go by somebody in the ditch knowing they have a tow strap in their truck and four-wheel drive and they can pull them out of there. And I think it's maybe something with us, with GLers, with we're concerned about fellow citizens, strangers. And I think it's a good quality among us. But I do see where you're going. I also see a lot of people, like if a lady is on the side of the road with a flat tire, nobody's pulling over to help her. But if her car was ablaze, we'd have 20 people pulling over.
So there is hope.
Yeah, but I think it's fading. I think you're right. And I think that quote is dead on.
Yeah, and most of these alarms we're getting are from people who notice, going back to George Washington. Most of these alarms we're getting were uttered long ago by wise people who apparently were reading the tea leaves.
The lady on the train, I'm going to be honest, I can't bring myself to watch that.
Don't.
Were they maybe, had the guy been subdued? Or were they afraid?
No, he was arrested off the site. He was, maybe that's another positive. Maybe
were they
maybe other people held him.
Were they afraid for their own lives? Maybe?
You can't see, though, Kenny, after he commits the act, he gets out of the view of the overhead surveillance video.
Yeah,
so you don't see him exit the train at all. But
I'd
you
have
do
a hard
see
time not jumping down there and, like Joe said, trying to stop that blood.
Well, wouldn't that
I'd have
be
to.
your natural reaction?
It always is. I lose control of my reasonable thinking.
A week ago Thursday, I shared this with Mike the other day, but I'll share it with you guys. A week ago Thursday, I took the boys to the Gopher football game. We parked here. We took the train down, no problems at all. We left at halftime. On our way back, I had them sit down. I stood behind them so I could see everything, right? Mm-hmm. A gentleman then got on at the next stop, stood right next to Leland, my 10-year-old. And I handed my 13-year-old this out. I said, hold on to this. And I stared at him. He knew exactly what I was doing. Mm-hmm. You make a move towards my kid, your face is going to be on the floor.
Did he move?
Nope. But again, that's just how you have to.
No, but I wonder why was there empty seats?
Oh, yeah.
Well, why did he stand there, I wonder?
That's a great question. So my instincts were, you're not touching my kid.
Well, of course those are your instincts.
Right. But that's just a sad commentary on what you're talking about. Our social contract is destroyed. That I have to think about stuff like that.
You want to have some fun?
Oh, why not?
Can you segue? Can you make us feel better about things? Oh, wait, it's Ilhan Omar.
Oh, come on here.
Can you give me an
Here's
Ilhan
your
Omar
latest
update?
Ilhan Omar report on Garage Logic.
The woman is absolutely terrified to have anyone think she might have any money. It's just terrifying her. It's contrary to her public persona. She's supposed to be poor and oppressed and the victim of evil corporate capitalism. And the Free Beacon in Washington is sticking to its guns in their analysis of her wealth, which shot up more than 3,000% since 2020. And now she and her husband, Tim Manette, are said to be worth $30 million.
Maybe she's a better investor than Mr. Money Talk.
Now, do you have some audio of Ilhan Omar? I think we'll play that first, and then I'll tell you why the Free Beacon is hanging in their claims that she's worth $30 million.
And this is from her Instagram account. She directly posted this.
All right.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Hang tight. Here we go.
The other day, another lying headline about millions of dollars that apparently I have. So if you look at this document, you could see it says assets and unearned income. If you look at the asset for 1 million to 5 million, the income is 5 to 15,000. And if you look at the asset for 5 million to 25 million, it says none right there. Learn to read before you post misleading shit. Bye.
Well,
She doesn't know what an asset is.
she doesn't know what an asset is. According to the Free Beacon, she issued this error-ridden denial of her newfound wealth, accusing the reporting of the Free Beacon of peddling fake news for citing her latest financial disclosure, which revealed that she and her husband saw their personal fortune explode to as much as $30 million. Omar took issue with the Free Beacon statement that her wealth is skyrocketing. By the way, I root for wealth.
You're a fan.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. I don't care if she was worth $30 million legitimately. This wouldn't be a story,
Right.
and I'd be all for her. That's go make as much money as you can. Although it's always suspect when you do that as a congresswoman. Hello, Nancy Pelosi.
True.
But it's a story because she's a liar, allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
She took issue with the Free Beacon statement that her wealth has skyrocketed. To ethics watchdog Caitlin Sutherland, the executive director of Americans for Public Trust, Omar's video, which you just heard, shows her having a fundamental misunderstanding of what wealth is. Net worth is more than cash in a bank account, Sutherland told the Free Beacon. Omar should know it's the value of assets that makes someone a millionaire. Omar denied being a multimillionaire while facing scrutiny over a report that found her fortune exploded to as much as $30 million, an increase of 3,500% over 2023. That's just 2 years. In a caption accompanying her Instagram video, Omar challenged right-wing media. How come the media is never called left-wing media when the need arises? It's always the right-wing media.
Great question.
She challenged the right-wing media to try reading and added that the $6 million to $30 million valuation she reported for her husband, Tim Minette's business, a California winery and a venture capital firm, represent the full cost assessment of the firms rather than Minette's individual share in them. But this, too, was incorrect. House Ethics Committee instructions require Omar to report only the value of her husband's ownership stake in the business, not the full value of the firms. Omar's rebuttal calls into question the validity of her 2024 disclosure statement, said Paul Kamenar, an attorney for the ethics watchdog National Legal and Policy Center. She must amend her report to comply with the House instructions to show only the value of her husband's ownership share. Otherwise, allegations of her wealth are correct, Kamenar told the Free Beacon. In other words, she wants to claim that her assets are only what her husband's making as a salary. No, her asset is the entire worth of the winery and his venture capital firm and all the rest of this BS. It's not the first time Omar has denied being a multimillionaire. Well, she's terrified of being known as a multimillionaire. She told Business Insider in February that it was ridiculous and categorically false to say she's worth more than a few $1,000s. But Omar and her husband were multimillionaires when she issued that statement, according to her own disclosure. By the end of 2024, the Democrat reported in her latest disclosure, she and Minette had accumulated a net worth that year ranging from $6 million to $30 million, derived almost entirely from the value of her husband's ownership stake in the winery, which would be different than the yearly emolument he was receiving. Her husband's ownership stake in the winery and venture capital firm that Omar valued it no more than $51,000. Well, she's incorrect. This is the sweetheart clue to the whole operation. Minette's venture capital firm, Rose Lake Capital, once boasted on its website expertise at structuring legislation on behalf of clients and partners. Do you think he had an insider there? Rose Lake Capital removed all references to legislation from its website sometime yesterday morning.
I'm sure that was purely coincidental.
Hey, Ilhan, hey.
How you doing?
Minette married Omar in 2020 as he worked on a consultant for her campaign. The arrangement saw $2.9 million from Omar's campaign. She didn't even need any money. These saps who vote her in are rooting for her because they all want to be the similar kind of thief.
Right.
The arrangement, which saw $2.9 million from Omar's allegedly, saw $2.9 million from Omar's campaign flow into the coffers of Minette's company, E Street Group, drew intense scrutiny, and after Omar won re-election in 2020, Minette exited the political consulting industry to branch out into the digital marketing, winery, and venture capital industries. We don't know what happened to the $2.9 million. It must have. One of Minette's firms, a creative agency called E Street Company, failed to pay its taxes in 2021. Fair share of taxes in 2021. The Free Beacon reported. The IRS filed a tax lien against the company in January 2023, seeking nearly $206,000 in unpaid income, Social Security, and Medicare taxes the firm accumulated in 2021. Though there are no records showing the IRS has released the lien, a spokesman for the E Street Company told the Free Beacon on Wednesday that the bill has been paid. Omar's office did not return a request for comment. This is from Alpha News because you won't read this in the Star Tribune.
What a giant grift everything is.
I ain't worth that.
So I have a question, though, Joe.
She's terrified.
When she's making that kind of money, is she still fighting for us, or can she do both of those things at the same time?
No, she's fighting for herself.
Got it.
Yeah. Yes, Kenny.
Oh, we didn't mention, and I love bringing this up, that she destroyed that man's marriage. She broke that marriage up.
Oh, Minette?
Yeah.
Yeah, home wrecker.
Yeah.
Was that before or after she was married to her brother?
Good question.
Allegedly.
I can't believe she holds an office. It's just incredible.
You know, deep down, she's probably disappointed that it's only $30 million when she realizes that her friends were getting $1 billion in food fraud.
And I'm sure those two worlds are completely separate. I'm sure they have nothing to do with one another.
Hey, Ilhan, if you're that honest, come on the show with me.
And then they didn't pay taxes.
Well, that's Tim's. That's the allegation against Tim Minette. In one of his many companies, he seems to dream up a new company about weekly, and they all seem to be doing well. In the meantime, it's quarterly tax payment time. Make sure you get your taxes in.
Don't be late.
Don't be late. Keep working your ass off for the growing political class.
Mm-hmm. Starting and selling companies, I would consider that part of the American dream.
Yes.
That's how a lot of people get ahead. And I find it interesting that, not us, certainly not me.
Yeah.
But I find it interesting that she is so against capitalism and the American way of life when she is profiting from it mightily.
Oh, it's just,
do you think any of this would happen in Somalia? Come on.
No.
You are profiting from the American dream, and you hate the American dream. What a liar.
It's I'm proud to have her in Minnesota. She's a wonderful, wonderful representative of the people.
Mm-hmm. Iowa, you cannot have her.
She's ours, baby, and
Wisconsin,
we ain't trading her.
No, beat it,
no,
cheeseheads.
we own Ilhan, baby. She's ours. Say fall is a good time to get your garage door ready for winter. I've told you before because it's happened to me. You don't want to go out there in the dead of January and the damn door doesn't work. So maybe you need a new door. Precision Door, Minnesota. That's the operation. Precision Door. They have models of doors for every budget. Just think what that does. Increases the aesthetics, saves energy, better security. They send out a new door designer. That's absolutely free of charge. And if you don't need a new door, you still want to take care of your finely working existing door, get a tune-up. It's called a Noisy Door Tune-Up Special for $149. That's nearly a $300 value. Precision Door includes a 25-point safety inspection and diagnostic full garage door tune-up with rollers replaced with ultra-quiet rollers, a value, as I say, of close to $300. Get ready for the cooler weather ahead. Annual maintenance reduces future wear and breakdown. So either a new door or a tune-up, Precision Door is your answer. Find them at precisiondoormn.com or call Precision Door at 612-263-6985.
Football is finally back, and Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. Play with as little as $1, and you just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, and lots more. This year, I'll probably stick with some of my favorite players like Josh Jacobs of the Packers. He helped me win money last year by usually going higher on yards rushing. I'll be looking for him to again go higher on rushing yards. It's easy to pick, and it makes watching the games that much more fun. Download the app today and sign up with promo code GARAGE to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code GARAGE. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog. Promo code GARAGE. Make picks. Win money.
Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Reavers here once again for my guy, Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Well, sometimes the anxiety from wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? Well, Mr. Money Talk is going to be able to sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk, never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute, no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608 and set up your free 48-minute, no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorser.
Hurry, let's go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Here's a man who spends hours in hardware stores, sifting through the nuts and bolts of life. Joe Souchere.
This is the perfect romantic music to talk about my favorite friend, Seafoam. So we've talked about the various methods to use Seafoam motor treatment. You know, dump it in the gas tank, put it in the crankcase, write down the yap if you've got a carburetor. There's also a wonderful way to clean both gas and diesel fuel injectors. Now, I'm not even going to try to explain it. Instead, I want to send you to a couple of really fun, cool websites. If you're a cylinder guy or gal, you like the way things operate, go, first of all, seafoamworks.com. That's the official website. It's full of all sorts of fantastic information about the various uses of all the Seafoam products, including the motor treatment. The other one, Seafoam has a YouTube page, fantastic injector videos on that page, YouTube/Seafoam official, and you'll see a wide variety of Seafoam fixes. Seafoam motor treatment, it really is a miracle cure for a wide variety of pesky issues that can plague our cylinders. But there's another secret. And Seafoam backs this up. It's called routine maintenance. Oil changes before they're due. Just because the car says you can run it till 6,000, maybe change it at 3,000. You're doing your engine a favor. Change the plugs. Put in new air filters. That whole maintenance deal. Meanwhile, the engine treatment, though, mechanic in a can, a GLer's friend, and it's available everywhere. Everywhere fine automotive chemicals are sold and more. A solid local company with a global reach and truly a wonderful product in a world of bad gas. Seafoam.
Let's now turn to the other Omar. Omar Fateh, who imagines himself mayor of Minneapolis. And if that were to happen, it would just be a matter of time before there would be no Vikings, no Twins, no Timberwolves, no businesses, no safety. On and on and on. It would be the ruination of the city. But Minneapolis, you deserve what you get because you've already elected a very unstable city council. It develops a Carol Evan report, good for them, and I'm reading it from the American Experiment. Omar Fateh, DFLer, has had a great deal to do with the Housing Stabilization Service authorization modifications. This is the Housing Stabilization Services, as we're learning, is a source, again, another great source under Cockwomble's leadership of rampant fraud. Housing Stabilization Services is a Medicaid program under the state's Department of Human Services. Housing Stabilization Services is so fraud-ridden.
How fraud-ridden is it?
That even the soft-on-fraud administration of Governor Cockwomble is trying to shut it down completely. What's the date on this?
think it was yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah,
September
it's a Bill
9th.
Gahn piece from yesterday.
Yep.
The goal of Fateh's Senate File 2741 was apparently to make it easier for vendors to enroll in the extremely lucrative taxpayer-funded program. The bill received a hearing committee in the DFL-controlled state Senate, but does not, gratefully, hopefully, thankfully, appear to advance any further. It turns out that Fateh's wife, Kaltoum Mohamed, was listed as an owner of one of these housing stabilization services company. It turns out that the company, Community Development Services, never did get any money from the HSS program before the state moved to shut down the program. Boy, I bet there's some angry discussion at the dinner table.
Outrage.
Yeah.
Fist pounding.
Carol Levin quoted quotes a local college professor, David Schultz, on the ethics of it all. When asked about the distinction that Community Development Services, that's Omar Fateh's wife, had not billed for services, Schultz said that it doesn't affect the ethical issue of conflict of interest. Well, what makes it particularly a conflict of interest is that while she dreams up this company, he's trying to create a bill to make it easier for the likes of her to get the dough.
Ooh.
There's the conflict of interest. I don't think it has any impact whatsoever. It doesn't really mean any. This is Schultz. It doesn't really mean anything whether or not they receive money. It doesn't address the issue of a conflict of interest from the day he introduced the legislation. That's the conflict of interest. Obviously, that's the conflict of interest. In other words, just because the attempt ultimately failed does not convert the unethical into the ethical.
Okay.
Of course it doesn't. As Omar Fateh scandals go, this one won't even rate in the top 5. But as in the earlier scandals involving his deep relationship with Feeding Our Future, adult daycare, voter fraud, etc., the common link is how Fateh never bothers to explain his actions on those rare occasions when asked. Case in point, Senator Fateh declined Carol Evans' interview request and has not answered questions. But if you elect him mayor, he'll give all you the free stuff you want. Yeah. Senator Fateh provided a statement to Carol Evans. Constituents come to me with this bill, which would have empowered counties to actually meet people where they are with direct, one-on-one person support and real oversight.
Huh?
No, Omar, you're full of S. That means more people housed and county staff empowered to catch the fraudsters and bad actors earlier, which the DHS has proven unable to do. Fateh's ex-post, whatever that means, newly discovered concern for fraud prevention is touching. As for DHS, Fateh himself bragged at the 2-minute, 48-second mark of a video we've played for you numerous times. He bragged at the 2-minute, 48-second mark of his lobbying the agency, Health and Human Services, hard on behalf of the state's biggest ever fraudsters, Feeding Our Future. In fact, I think there was a celebration when Fateh was able to convince the Department of Education to resume. A judge did not tell the Department of Education to resume payments. The judge told the Department of Education that they were to follow the law, which was interpreted by them as to continue paying the fraud.
Right.
Omar Fateh is a disaster. He does not deserve public office. You know Krista from Maryland, our friend, is it Krista?
Yes.
She sent me one time. She's a character. She was intrigued that Omar Fateh arrived in Minneapolis about 5 years ago after a failed school board run in the state of Virginia. So she did a lot of homework on all of the people who donated money to him in Minnesota. And they were all named Omar or Muhammad or Allah, whatever the hell. And to this day, we don't know why this guy's here, why he arrived. The presumption would be that
word got out.
Well, the presumption would be that he has some sort of cousins here or something.
Yeah, pickings were ripe.
Yeah. And plus he was getting the word that, get your ass out here, man. These Swedes are so stupid.
They're open for business.
Money to give.
It's like pickpockets going to wherever the Super Bowl is. Pickpockets and prostitutes.
Honest to God, these people stand around, stare at their shoes. You could take money you walk right in front of them with cash in your pocket. They don't even see it.
My name is Omar Fateh. I'm the state senator for District 62,
Hello,
which is in
Omar.
South Minneapolis. I want to thank first all of you for sticking together, for working together, for fighting. I want to thank our organizers, Mahad, Ikram, other folks that helped lead this fight. And I want to thank also Amy and her team, Feeding Our Future, for making this first court victory a reality. So first, I want to say thank you to all of you.
He's praising the continuation of the fraud.
This was a fight that has been going on for a long time. I've been hearing about this for several.
The fight is the fight to get the payments to continue to fund the fraud.
This was a fight that has been going on for a long time. I've been hearing about this for several months now. And when our office first got involved, it got involved because of all of you getting together. I remember Ikram calling us to an event here in South Minneapolis, organized by her and Amy. And at that time, we saw a couple hundred of you coming out, right? Speaking out about the stop payments, the money that was being stopped.
Stop. He's actually celebrating the idea that I've succeeded in helping get the fraud payments resumed.
Immediately when I got there, I was extremely proud of all of you and surprised. And I had Dawson immediately take a picture of what was going on, and we emailed it out to the governor's office saying, this is a whole lot of folks that are being affected right now.
Jesus
and literally
Christ.
within minutes, it was a Friday afternoon that happened.
Yeah.
Within minutes, they emailed us back saying, let's meet Monday morning. So that was because of the power of all of you that happened. And in that meeting...
So stop it a second. So are the people applauding just idiots?
Yes.
Or are
Kenny.
they...
Oh, the fraudsters.
No, the crowd of people
are idiots.
Are the idiots. And Kenny, in two different cases, when you hear the applause in the video I'm playing it from, they scan the crowd. It's 75% white liberals feeling guilty. That's what this is.
Any of them overweight?
So
I guess I couldn't tell.
They think this money is actually feeding children, and that's why they're applauding.
They can't know. No, they have to know that it's not. They have to know that it's not feeding anyone.
Hold on.
I think you're attributing intelligence where it doesn't exist.
I can help. Joe, Omar Fateh is standing behind a table of the fraudsters.
Right.
In the crowd
are the non-fraudsters?
is a banquet of people that are...
They're going to have cake at any moment.
Correct, right. It's almost like a wedding setup where these people are at the head table.
And to further put this in context, this goes back a few years. You'll recall the
Royce,
Department
get on your
of
mic.
Huh?
Get on your mic.
You go back a few years and you'll recall the Minnesota Department of Education halted the payments on suspicion of fraud.
Yeah.
It was then that they got sued by the fraudsters.
Yeah.
And then the judge ruled your stopping the payments is not exactly following the law. He did not order them to resume it. I guess you could, if you were reading between the lines, he was telling them to figure it out. They didn't figure anything out. No. They just started writing the checks again.
Right.
And
great.
Wasn't it, who was was it Walls that called out the judge, saying it was his fault?
A lot of people call out the judge. It was not the judge's fault.
Right.
But these people in the audience, these are the people that don't believe in deodorant or razors, right? They don't.
Pretty much.
Right. They smell funky.
John Guthman was the judge.
The Guff.
I've talked to him about this case. He said, I did not order the Department of Education to resume payments. That's how it's been portrayed by the left.
Right.
The left is excusing this by going around, and I've heard it expressed to me by lefties many times. The judge told them to resume the payment. No, he did not. He interpreted the law. The Department of Education took it from there. Are you done with that audio?
Well, I didn't know how much more you wanted to hear.
No, it's worth people to hear this. He's your next mayor.
So in that meeting, we were asking what was going on, and we asked very directly, was there any evidence of fraud? Was there any concerns or suspicions? And they told us that there was zero evidence. Nothing was there.
Well done.
So to us, that was immoral, what was going on.
It was immoral.
And I see
to
this
stop
most
those
recent
payments.
victory coming from not just our office, but our other electeds, from Ilhan's office and Ali that's here, from the Feeding Our Future staff, from all of you coming together, because it's not just the East African fight, just like our brother just said right now. It was affecting our black community, our Latino community, our minority kids, our working families, all of us.
I can't stand to listen to this.
You know what,
fraud.
Jacob Fry?
He had to know that not one kid was getting a meal.
Of course he did. Jacob Fry needs to. This video clip is about 3 minutes and 45 seconds. Jacob Fry needs to turn that into a campaign video and just play the entire thing.
He won't. He does not have a
He's got
set of
tiny-
testicles.
No, they're very tiny.
He just doesn't have a set of testicles.
They're like, yeah.
We've tried to coach the guy. He's not coachable. You can't coach him up.
Right.
You
They're
just can't
little
get him up there.
acorns, tiny little acorns. Yeah.
He's got those big fat
Mom jeans.
weekend mom jeans on, and he
Ew.
tries to do the rumba or whatever the hell dance he's trying to learn with the hula hoop or whatever the hell he's doing. I don't know. Flying goats around and
What?
I don't know.
Yeah.
What you got over there?
Well, I mentioned, I was reading that piece from the Center of the American Experiment. I'm glad we have them in our midst. They're focused on education right now and the dreadful condition it is under this failed state under Cockwomble's leadership. They've got an idea. We've tried money. That doesn't work. You'll hear them continue to beg for it, but that's what they do. We've tried top-heavy administrations. That doesn't work. Half the kids in this state can't read or do math at grade level. That's a sadness that does not need to happen. Center of the American Experiment advocates something they've invented called 7K for Kids. Put 7K in the hands of the parents and let them make a decision where their kid goes to school. It could be a public school. No one's ruling that out. Private school, charter, homeschool, whatever fits wherever you think your child is going to actually learn and not be proselytized. Learn more at 7kforkids.com or AmericanExperiment.org. This is Patrick Ricey for The Canopy Group. As you set out to explore Minnesota this summer, just know this. There are 234 cities in Minnesota with populations over 2,500. The Canopy Group has customers in all but 7 of those. Why is this fact important? Because the Canopy Group's experience in these Minnesota cities gives them a unique edge in providing you the comprehensive home and auto insurance options you want. Remember, the Canopy Group offers 16 insurance companies for a reason, to help match your specific situations, including your zip code, with an insurance company that meets your needs. This is done for you every year because your specific situation may change. It is also true that the insurance company's appetites that you're with now might change as well. The experience working throughout Minnesota provides thousands of Canopy Group customers with peace of mind, knowing that the Canopy Group is working for you. To learn more, visit thecanopygroup.com today.
Reality with a bite. The Joe Shuray Show. Easy for me to say.
You know, hang on, let me hit this thing first here.
Yeah, what do you got? What
Masters
Oh, look at that
Maples
syrup.
and mastersmaples.com. The kid wolfed down about 16 Eggo waffles over the last 3 days before school.
Gotta love that.
We're almost out of Masters Maple, so I got to make a run. And he said, don't buy the other stuff, Dad. I said, you got it, buddy. But I've got some breaking news about Masters Maples and mastersmaples.com. Are you ready?
Yes.
Now available at all of your Fratelloni's hardware and garden stores locations, Masters Maples and
That's becoming a grocery store.
It pretty much is.
I saw it yesterday on the counter at my local Andover one.
Did you really?
Yep.
Did you get any?
No, because
thanks for supporting.
I was there to buy weird nuts. So.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, John. Appreciate that.
How many nuts do you go through? Well, this is a syrup commercial.
That's true. Here's the thing. Here's what's available at Fratelloni's. You can get the traditional pure maple syrup. You can get the bourbon barrel-aged maple syrup, which is fantastic. You can also get the maple sugar. That's pure maple sugar, by the way. And also the sweet and savory seasonings and rubs, all available at Fratelloni's. And you can also order your bottle of Masters Maples online, still at mastersmaples.com, or like I mentioned.
If I strained somehow, maybe through a silk stocking, the bourbon syrup, I could get just the bourbon?
Jeez,
you jonesing, huh?
You better go to classes. You need a class right away.
Anyway, so yeah, go to Fratelloni's or order them online at mastersmaples.com. Sorry about that, Ben. We appreciate you anyway. Masters Maples taste.
Ben knows what
difference.
I'm talking about.
Of course he does. I like that you call him Mr. Syrup, by the way.
Syrup.
Here's John Heidt in the newsroom.
Oh, yeah, here he is.
Hi, thanks.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris?
Yeah.
Joe? Somebody? Anybody?
Yeah.
John Heidt in his newsroom.
This news is brought to you by North American Banking Company. As we have talked about here on the show, Minneapolis City Council member Jeremiah Ellison accepted a Harvard fellowship in Cambridge, Massachusetts, but was still getting a six-figure salary while attending the paid fellowship. That's the six-figure salary for being on the city council. Well, at a city council meeting of the whole yesterday, Council President Elliot Payne suggested Ellison keep his seats on two key committees while he continues the fellowship because Ellison is still doing his city job while away, according
this
to Payne.
Elliot Payne is an unimpressive guy. Jeez Louise.
But it's a key position.
I know.
It's key.
So, City Council member Latricia Vitaw opposed that idea. She wants to fill those two committee seats to make sure Northside residents are represented fairly. Vitaw said we need a Northsider to explain what just happened in these committees they just sat through, the folks who are watching from home that have multiple questions, and despite what Council member Cashman believes, she's not that person. She's not a Northsider.
This was great, John. Katie Cashman says, I want to be on the committee. I want to do it. I want to do it. And Latricia said, you ain't a North Sider.
Have
you
a
don't
seat,
live up
cracker.
there.
Yeah.
Ellison has missed 12 committee and or full city council meetings over
What's
the
wrong
past
with that?
month. In a month.
You know what? I think I could learn from him.
Well, you've been trying.
The full city council is expected to take up the matter this Thursday, and Ellison expected to attend. That reminds me, don't forget, guys, I won't be here tomorrow. And moving right along.
I did forget.
I knew you did.
Planning
Joe.
some car trouble or throwing axes?
Minneapolis residents have the chance to weigh in today on a proposed tax levy for next year.
12 people will show up, if that.
Current proposals could result in hundreds of dollars more in taxes for a lot of residents, even if the home value is dropped.
Wow.
An analysis of city tax data revealed that while more homeowners are paying more in property taxes over the past 5 years, commercial properties dropping in value paid less over the same time. And City Assessor Rebecca Malmquist says when we have a shrinking commercial tax base and a relatively flat or increasing residential base, there will be a shift to residential property owners. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey has proposed a 7.8% property tax increase for 2026, a hike he says is necessary to maintain core city services.
Like what?
They don't. Listen, if you tried to invent leadership worse than this, you couldn't.
I remember when they proposed this a month or two ago, and we talked about it. So just to dumb it down, maybe just for my case, we're losing businesses.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That means we're not getting their tax income.
Well, they're worth less than they were.
So we're going to make the residents suffer.
Right.
And even though their dump might have gone down in value, they're going to pay more.
And what is it that doesn't? What is it that they don't do? What is it that's not occurring to them?
That they're increased services by 8%.
No. Okay. What is not occurring to them? How about reduce spending?
Oh, right. Okay. Of course.
It's not complicated.
You speak too much common sense.
I know. I'm sorry.
I just
cancel your direct TV, Minneapolis.
But how soon is the buck going to be become larger for the state of Minnesota? Meaning, okay, at some point you can't keep increasing.
It already has, because the state created a situation where an $18 billion that wasn't there 3 years ago is now added to the budget that you have to come up with the funds for. You could not invent worse leadership than this state has.
So we got that going for
Which is good. And just think, any day now it'll be snowing.
Wow, what'd you throw that in for?
Yeah, what
the hell?
In case you'd like to attend that meeting, it will happen at 5 o'clock this afternoon at the Public Service Center.
I think Joe's prediction is right. There'll be probably a dozen people there.
I think that's pretty high.
And all of them will be happy to pay for a better Minneapolis.
All are welcome here.
God, are you people stupid? You're either stupid or you're on the take. There can't be any other explanation for this failed leadership.
But you're talking about the voters?
Yeah.
Or they're so damn busy shoveling S that they don't have time.
Maybe.
Some systems are starting to go back to normal in St. Paul, 7 weeks after that major cyber attack crippled the city's computer network.
Right on it.
City announced yesterday it can once again accept online payments for garbage and water bills.
Thank God.
Some online services are still unavailable, and the city is also warning residents of fraudulent invoices claiming to be from St. Paul officials.
Other than that, we got her all taken care of.
Yeah.
Few glitches left. We'll get them.
It was 2 months ago.
St. Paul previously announced an accelerated launch of a new platform for online permits, licenses, inspections, and complaints known as Pauly. That system is set to launch publicly September 17th. A review of what data was compromised remains ongoing.
Which will get fixed faster, the hacked computers or the hole in the street in front of Moe's restaurant?
Is it still in full force? Have we made any?
There's one lane. You can get around it.
They've made some. You can go. Yeah, you can go.
You kind of squeeze by.
North and south.
Around it.
Yeah, you can go around it.
Hundreds of universities.
The only street in the city that's actually busy.
Right. The only place where there's functioning
main arterial
businesses.
street.
Your city's hilarious.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun.
Hundreds of University of Minnesota workers picketed at campuses across the state today. More than 1,400 U service workers are on strike after the Teamsters Local 320 voted down the U's final offer in contract negotiations. This is the first strike since the union's creation at the U in the 1970s. The University of Minnesota and the Teamsters, which represent custodial, maintenance, food service, and sanitation workers, have been in negotiations since March. The U set its final offer at 3% wage increase in September. Teamsters rejected that offer, hoping for a 3.5% to match other university unions' contracts. The U said the final offer is fair and equitable. The strike began at 10 p.m. Monday, starting with the Crookston and Morris campuses. Duluth and satellite location employees began striking at 4 in the morning yesterday, and the Twin Cities workers began striking at 7 o'clock last evening. Minnesotans missed out on the big prize Saturday, but a police officer in southern Minnesota still won a big chunk of money in the recent Powerball drawing. This fellow, we don't get his last name. He's known only as Michael from Caledonia.
Yeah.
Matched 4 numbers and the Powerball, plus had a power play multiplier of 2, which won him $100,000.
BFD.
I'll take it if he doesn't want it. In Minnesota, winners of lottery prizes over $10,000 can remain private. However, Michael authorized the use of his first name and shared his story via the Minnesota Lottery. Michael says he bought
how many cops named Michael are there in Caledonia?
Well, there's a picture of him, too. There's a picture of him holding the check.
Come on, Mike.
The check says Michael from Caledonia. He's holding a big check.
Is he going to quit his job and then just nothing but hookers and cocaine?
Well, that's what I was
Well,
going
that
to
would
say.
last 2 weeks because he
Nobody's-
gets to keep 50 of it.
Nobody's going to be chasing him down for 50 grand.
No, you're all right, Mike.
Michael says he bought his Powerball ticket at the Quick Trip on Esch Drive while he was driving on his way to work as an officer in Caledonia. He admitted that he got random numbers and only ever even plays the lottery, quote, when the Powerball jackpot gets to the billions.
Me too.
Well, at work, Michael checked the numbers from Saturday's drawing. He didn't think he won anything. However, he told the lottery that he checked the numbers again later and realized he had all of the numbers in order except for one. He double-checked with his dad and his girlfriend to make sure he was right. He said pretty soon all of his fellow police officers started checking their own tickets, hoping there were more winners.
At the press conference, did she have a T-shirt? Mike from Caledonia's girlfriend?
So, did somebody
Maybe
win
not.
the
Okay.
big prize?
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
Powerball person
Yeah.
from Missouri, and
Two
there were
people
two
won
people.
it.
Yeah,
Two people.
Texas.
So that means they split the total.
correct.
Correct. With his winnings, Kenny, you asked what he's going to do. He plans to buy a new car so he can, in his words, stop fixing up his current ride. He also wants to go on a nice vacation to see and enjoy the ocean for the first time and put some money in savings. He did admit, though, I'm going to have some real nice golf clubs for next
you go.
year.
Well, Mike, you just spend it all right there. You can't have any
He's
more
already
wishes.
overdrawn.
You're not even going to make that wish
50
list.
grand wouldn't buy me a new truck.
No.
I'll let you know, based upon my winnings in yesterday's bet with you of the Vikings game.
$1.
I
Where'd you
did take
spend all
that
that?
dollar and I combined it with another $1 to buy a Powerball ticket.
Wonderful.
So I guess you will be probably
He's in for half.
in line for half.
Yeah.
If you were involved in the drawing, make sure you check your tickets because at least 8 50,000 Powerball tickets sold in Minnesota, plus $1 million winner in Inver Grove Heights.
Well, what numbers do you have to have? I bought a ticket. I think I threw it away already.
Yeah, way to go. Way to check.
Well, you
Why
always
would I do
take it
that?
to check
Take
Why
it
would you-
where?
to a gas station.
To a computer. Just go to Google.
Oh,
And almost every store has a thing. You just
Yeah, they
the
scan
ticket
it.
in.
It takes
gas station.
It takes 2 seconds.
It
I
says
did not
winner.
know
No,
that.
here's why you don't do that. Because if Kenny's working that counter
Yep.
and I scan a ticket
Yes.
and it's a
Non-winner.
win. Sorry, I'll throw it away for
I
you.
got it.
But,
Go ahead.
but most stores have the one you do. Like I go to my local county market, it's sitting right there, and you do it yourself.
Yeah, you scan it
for
yourself.
God's
No,
sake.
I would say scanner's not working. Give me your ticket, please.
Why don't we take a break here?
I would sabotage the scanner.
Well, I'm very excited now because I don't usually get to do this. Now, with our break, here's Mr. Kenny Olson.
Yeah, and I actually want to talk about coffee, and I'm going to geek out here for a second, customroasting.net. And I don't know if we had this conversation on or off the air yesterday, but turns out Such is right.
right.
One of the keys to a perfect pot of coffee is starting with very cold water. Stephen at customroasting.net and we got to talking about Joe behind his back, and he agreed it couldn't hurt, but then he did further research, and the internet does agree the best way to start your pot of coffee is with very cold water. Obviously, you brew it with hot water.
I don't know why that would be, by the way.
But I don't get that. What difference does it make? Because it's going to be hot water.
I don't know, but I know I'm right.
It has more oxygen in it. I looked it up yesterday after we talked about cold
But you
water.
heat it up, and where that oxygen goes away, doesn't it?
I
Anyway,
look like a scientist.
But regardless of where you are, the water utility loves the fact that you let the cold water run for 10 minutes.
I have
before
a faucet where that's not, I don't have to worry about that. It's cold.
Got it.
Moral of the story is Joe is never wrong.
That's right.
Take that to the bank.
If it ain't raining in my house.
The other thing I wanted to discuss is the roaster that Stephen uses at Custom Roasting. It's a convection style roaster, and that's more efficient than the old flame roasters. Convection roasting relies on injected circulating hot air to roast the beans. It's indirect and it's high convection heat. It offers benefits such as increased flavor, clarity, enhanced acidity and body, and it's more consistent, a better roast. So 2 reasons right there why customroasting.net is way, way better. Order those fresh roasted beans from Stephen at customroasting.net and know that you are getting the finest roasted beans possible. And the bags, that's yet another reason. The bags have a heavy-duty zip locks and a relief valve that allows unwanted gases to escape. Get to the website, check out the GL starter pack, or if you're a returning customer, try something new, but then I want to hear what you think about the new stuff. Again, customroasting.net.
This is Ricey. You've been hearing my friend Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, for years on the radio and the Garage Logic podcast. With summer coming on, I strongly recommend you sit down with Josh for your no-cost, no-obligation, 48-minute consultation on your investments, including your IRA and 401k. You can benefit from Josh's years of experience navigating different market and economic conditions, and he'll always give you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice. Give Josh a call now at 952-925-5608 and book your no-cost, no-obligation 48-minute consultation. 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did meet with Josh, and tell him that Ricey sent you.
The Earth is not your mother. The Joe Souchere Show.
I want to talk once again about my new friends at About Awaken 180 weight loss program. I'm not quite a week into it yet, but one of the things that I've really noticed is energy level is up. And see, the whole idea, it's a proven weight loss program that's really built for anybody. There's no medications. There's no working out required. There's no fasting, none of that stuff. But they've been helping people for over 10 years to revolutionize the weight loss industry. And you lose weight almost every single week. And then when you get to your goal, you're going to receive free maintenance support for life. It's the long-term solution for weight loss. You can still go on vacation. You can still tailgate. You can even have drinks once in a while. And they also give you tips and menu items from a select restaurant if you have plans to go out. This morning I had a blueberry shake, a little protein. It was fantastic. And I'm going to have some barbecue crisps while Johnny Heidt reads the newscast here in a minute. But anyway, go to awaken180weightloss.com, awaken180weightloss.com, or you can set up your free consultation today by calling 844-346-1800. And please do me a favor and mention that you heard about them on the Garage Logic podcast. Johnny?
Thank you, Chris. Poland said a number of Russian drones entered its airspace during an attack on Ukraine early Wednesday and were shot down with the help of NATO allies. That's a first since Moscow's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Leaders across Europe condemned the incident as the latest sign of escalation from the Kremlin, which has rebuffed President Trump's bid to broker peace talks. Russia labeled the accusations groundless and said it did not plan to attack any targets in Poland. The Russian Defense Ministry said it had attacked the military-industrial complex of Ukraine in what they called a large-scale strike, but that there were no targets envisioned for the destruction on Polish territory. The Russian incursion resulted in the closure of airspace over at least 3 airports in Poland, according to the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration. Debris from the drones was found in several Polish cities. A spokesperson for the Polish Interior Ministry said 7 drones and 1 fragment from a projectile of unknown origin had been found. No reports of deaths or injuries in Poland. President Trump, writing on his social media platform this morning, said, "What's with Russia violating Poland's airspace with drones? Here we go."
Was it like a Seinfeld-esque? What's the deal with that?
What's the deal? The Supreme Court yesterday granting the Trump administration's request to hear its appeal of lower court rulings that many of President Donald Trump's wide-ranging tariffs are illegal. The court also agreed with the administration's request to consider the appeal on a faster-than-normal timeline. The court in the order said it would hear oral arguments in the first week of November. It allotted 1 hour for that session. The court consolidated 2 separate cases in which plaintiffs, 7 small businesses, and a dozen states have successfully at this point challenged the legality of the tariffs that are at issue. President Trump says he doesn't mind letting his 30-day takeover of Washington, D.C.'s Metropolitan Police Department lapse today. That, according to White House officials, they say mainly because he feels the city has taken steps to cooperate. The officials argued the executive order signed by D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser last week, which calls for indefinite collaboration with federal law enforcement, achieves their goals without an extension that would typically require congressional approval.
By the way, I'm on record as supporting Trump's wish to clean up Chicago, because they can't do it in Chicago.
Well, how could you not be in support of it? You know what I mean? The people that are outspoken about it, I don't understand your position.
They like crime.
Okay.
It's Trump, Chris.
That's true, yeah.
It's simply Trump.
Interior Secretary Doug Burgum proposing canceling a public land management rule that elevated the importance of conservation as President Trump's administration seeks to open more taxpayer-owned tracts to drilling, logging, mining, and grazing. That rule was a key part of efforts under former President Joe Biden to refocus the Interior Department's Bureau of Land Management, which oversees about 10% of land in the U.S. Adopted last year, it allowed public property to be leased for restoration in the same way that oil companies lease land for drilling. High schoolers in the United States last year earned their lowest marks on reading and math in 2 decades, according to the nation's report card. The test, also known as the National Assessment of Educational Progress, is the largest nationally representative assessment of K through 12 student achievement. Latest results show high school students across public and private schools backsliding in math, science, and reading in 2024, continuing a decade-long decline in student performance nationally. Between 2019 and 2024, 12th graders declined in math and reading proficiency, and 8th graders' science scores declined by 4 points. The average 12th grade reading and math scores hit their lowest since their respective subject matter tests began in 1992 and 2005. The 2024 results also mark the first time the average science score for 8th graders fell since that subject matter assessment began in 2009.
7K for Kids, AmericanExperiment.org.
Justice Department yesterday charging, this is a story we've been talking about, that man accused of fatally stabbing a Ukrainian refugee on a North Carolina commuter train last month with a federal crime that could carry the death penalty. The federal charge comes amid growing questions about why DeCarlos Brown Jr. was on the street despite 14 prior criminal arrests before he was accused of pulling out a knife and killing 23-year-old Irina Zarutska in an apparently random attack captured on video. The case has become the latest flashpoint in the debate over whether cities like Charlotte are adequately addressing violent crime, mental illness, and transit safety. The Trump administration says the killing shows how local leaders, judges, and policies in Democratic-led cities are failing to protect their residents from violent crime. Zarutska had been living in a bomb shelter in Ukraine before coming to the U.S. to escape the war, according to relatives who described her as determined to build a safer life.
You know, something occurred to me when you were talking about this earlier and then when John just read the news story. Imagine in that still shot that we all saw, and imagine that everybody's race was reversed, meaning white guy kills black woman and 3 white people are standing by doing nothing and filming. The city of Charlotte would be burning to the ground right now.
Mm-hmm. You know, some of them Ukrainian gals ain't hard on the eye.
She was a beautiful girl.
Yeah.
Glad you pointed that out.
Yeah.
In other news, Reservoir Media has closed a deal to acquire Miles Davis's publishing catalog. The company announced yesterday that gives Reservoir ownership of one of the best catalogs in the history of jazz music. No terms released, but it's believed they got about $60 million for it. Reservoir didn't disclose how much it paid, confirmed the acquisition. The company is joining Davis's estate, which is overseen by his children, Cheryl and Aaron Davis, his nephew, as well as his general manager and attorney. Davis, regarded as one of the greatest and most influential jazz musicians of all time, known for albums like Milestones, Bitches Brew, and Kind of Blue. The latter, Kind of Blue, considered one of the greatest albums of all time, certified 5 times platinum by the RIAA. The deal is the latest in a still hot music acquisition market across the music world. Next year, this should be lucrative for the company that purchased it and the family because it would be Davis's 100th birthday. His estate already planning around the musician's centennial with several projects in the works, re-releases of music, and the feature film Miles and Juliet, a recounting of Davis's affair with Juliet Greco, which the estate developed with River Road Entertainment and Mick Jagger's Jagged Films.
I've worn out 2 copies of Kind of Blue.
Yeah.
What's your favorite, John? What's your favorite
album? Or
Miles' album?
Oh, no contest. Kind of Blue. I like Milestones too, though.
Do you like any of the bop stuff, the early stuff?
Yeah,
where he wasn't playing with a mute.
Yeah, I do. Starting in about 53 or so is the stuff.
Yeah.
Up until that stuff in the 70s got a little weird for me with the electric stuff.
But that was on purpose. Miles never.
Certainly.
He didn't look back ever.
Nope.
Ever.
Always had to change. There had to be change in
I think probably my highlight, the best, coolest concert I saw was Miles. That was so awesome.
I think his dad identified as a dentist.
He was.
Did.
Dad
Yeah.
was a dentist, yes.
Born in what city in Illinois?
Alton, Illinois.
There you go.
A new cookie is joining the Girl Scouts lineup this year. Or no, not this year, 2026. I'm sorry, 2026. The organization unveiling the Exploramores, a Rocky Road ice cream-inspired cookie filled with chocolate, marshmallow, and toasted almond-flavored ice cream. Cookie selling season is recognized from January through April, however, so you'll have to wait a bit to try this new cookie. The new edition joins a popular lineup that already features the likes of Thin Mints, peanut butter patties, Samoas, and many others.
Every kid who sells the cookies should camp out in front of one of these dope dealers.
Yeah.
Where they sell the dope.
Dispensaries.
Like they do at Walmart, where they set up the table. Just set it up right
and then
outside
just add on Doritos and maybe
Now, how can you have this cookie if it has ice cream in it? I mean, if what's a hot day?
I think it's
ice cream.
It doesn't have actual ice cream.
It's flavors. It's chocolate, marshmallow, and toasted almond flavored cream. So it's just a cream filling.
I see.
Yeah. Amanda,
you
Missouri.
were worried about logistics for those young ladies trying to keep things frozen.
I see them melting.
Right,
and,
You know, if these dumb Girl Scouts, if they don't want to be chased away from my door, they should call customroasting.net and sell coffee, because Stephen offers that to groups that are raising money.
Really?
I would be more interested in writing a check to the Girl Scouts for $100 for coffee than I would their dumb thin
Are you
mints.
still hauling around these candy bars? The big candy bars?
His kids are in the 20s.
We're done with that.
His kids.
That was
wait,
me.
wait. How many do you want to buy?
No, I don't know.
Yes, we are.
Yeah,
yes, we are. Bring some in tomorrow.
Just go down the machine and start sticking dollars.
They were good.
That was me last year because Will was selling
still
them.
doing
was that
that?
you?
Well, Gabe's 20.
I know. Little something on the
Chris,
side.
get those town ball teams hooked up with custom roasting. Start selling coffee.
Oh, that's a
Can we
brilliant
continue
idea.
the news without promoting everything under the sun
Are you
here?
supposed to do it when he's ending?
I don't.
A man in Missouri charged Sunday with first-degree murder for his roommate's death. Why did he kill his roommate?
Yeah.
I don't
Snoring.
I know this, so I won't spoil it.
Okay. They all went to watch a college football game at a small gathering, and the 54-year-old became agitated with his roommate because the roommate didn't bring household items and drugs to the event.
Household
You
items.
bastard. I told you to bring some
Like a
forks
chair?
and
Yeah,
a spoon
a rolling pin.
and a bag of weed.
54-year-old Marvin Bird charged with first-degree murder, armed criminal action, unlawful possession of a firearm, resisting arrest for a felony. Apparently, the roommate didn't bring the items. Police said Bird then shot the roommate on the street, waited for the officers to get there. When arrested, Bird said his roommate was being verbally reckless. That's a new one, huh? Verbally reckless.
Did he think that was going to be his escape clause, that they wouldn't
He'll
charge
get
him?
off. He won't do much time.
Officers said Bird told them the shooting was the result of a long, built-up frustration against his roommate. Bird was taken into custody at the scene. He's being held without bond at the St. Louis City Justice Center. The victim was identified as 58-year-old Dwayne Thomas.
Joe, did you ever have a roommate other than your wife?
They were the ones that watched his car get stolen and didn't do anything about it.
I've had many.
You have.
I love that story.
Yeah.
Hey, isn't that Such's car?
Did you fight over who ate your oatmeal and who used up your zigzag paper?
One more item. A bit of breaking news as we wrap up the newscast, and we'll probably discuss this thoroughly on Monday Night Sports Talk on a Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota Wild star Kirill Kaprizov
Oh, no.
has just rejected the most lucrative contract in NHL history.
I can tell you why.
On account of, you want to know why? He couldn't get through on West 7th Street. That's why.
I don't think he sees a cup here. Oh. That's hard
You
to
don't think
think.
it's money? You think he wants to go somewhere else?
I think he wants to hoist a cup.
Oh.
That's dreadful
breaking,
news.
dreadful news.
What was the contract?
About $130 million. Thanks to Jordy, by the way, for
how many years?
A year?
130 in totality.
For 4 years?
I don't know.
Probably 7.
I'm behind the paywall on Russo's deal. I'm not paying for it.
I hope you take advantage of this wonderful turn in the forecast. Get to EcoFun Motorsports in either Forest Lake or Burnsville and leave there with an electric bike, a new motorcycle, a motorized scooter, youth recreational equipment, side-by-sides, 4x4s, and yes, even Yamaha water equipment. EcoFun Motorsports is the most fun outdoor recreational store I've ever been in. It's the electric bike capital of the world. The scooter selection is incredible. The motorcycle brands are only the finest. Moto Guzzi, Aprilia. The scooters include Vespas. Come on, what do you want here? The electric bikes are Bentellis and other brands. They're fantastic. Great selection. Helmets and apparel and a great service department. You're going to enjoy your visit to EcoFun Motorsports in Forest Lake / Columbus. It's immediately west of Interstate 35 on Highway 97. A couple of roundabouts, bing, bang, boom, there you are, new store. And then down in Burnsville on the Service Road of Life near County Road 42. And if you don't believe me, check out EcoFunMotorsports.com. Is Kenny doing something today?
Yes.
Crabby.
Right after.
You cannot stop him. He'll just make a move. Joe Souchere.
Right after Wednesday night sports talk.
Yes.
We'll give him 28 great minutes today. Solid. Hofferman Water and Connecticut, Joe, are here for you. You know what? I'm kind of missing out. Look what I did. I forgot my water bottle at home today, so I had to go with this swill. But that's fine, just for one day. But Hofferman Water and Connecticut are here to solve all of your water needs. And you know what? Get on the schedule right now. Fall's going to start picking up. I was told that by Jim at the State Fair, that fall really gets busy as everyone kind of gets back into the routine with kids back in school and whatnot. So give them a call directly today at 612-895-2440 or visit their website at hoffermanwater.com. Either way, you can get on the schedule and have them come out and give you that free water analysis. And when they give you that water analysis, they'll give you this thing that's called a water score. And then based upon that water score, they'll have recommendations on how you can update the quality of your water. If they've done that for me, they will do that for you. So once again, 612-895-2440 or visit hoffermanwater.com. Hofferman Water has been proudly serving the state of Minnesota for over 50 years. Do me a favor and mention that you heard about them on the Garage Logic podcast.
You know what you call a water bottle? I have a complaint about those. They're getting bigger.
The reusable ones, you mean?
Yeah. My brother has one that might as well be a 50-gallon drum.
You mean like this Yeti thing?
And they're getting bigger. They don't even fit in cup holders. They're too big.
That is the one complaint I do have, is I love my water bottle, but it does not fit.
Well, it's too big.
In
It's
the cup
ridiculous.
holder in my vehicle. Yeah.
There's some serious first world problems here.
Thank you, John. You were reading my
serious what?
First world problem.
Serious first world
It is
problem.
very much of a first world problem. I don't deny that.
I don't want to cast accusations at you, Chris and Matthew, but
of course you do.
Isn't that a trait among ladies to carry the big water bottles? That's what gals normally do.
Men
gals
just
do.
carry the plastic bottle of water.
Exactly.
Women have to doll it up with their, Roy Rogers water
Fancy
bottle.
straw.
Feathers
holder.
hanging from it.
Hello Kitty.
Yeah.
Only because they come to us all the way from Marloth Park in Longa Province, South Africa, from the Traveling Lymans. It was on this day.
Joe, today is September 10th.
Well, it was on this day in 1820. We don't know what kind of day it was. Might have been chilly.
Wednesday.
It was a dark, stormy night.
Colonel Hosea Snelling laid the cornerstone to Fort St. Anthony, which would later bear his name as Fort Snelling. Snelling, haven't we found out that he was a bad guy? Didn't he own slaves or something? It's still called Fort Snelling.
Couldn't own them in Minnesota.
Snelling had chosen to build a fort rather than the typical wooden structure, in part because there wasn't enough wood available in the immediate area, because this was not a forest in the Twin Cities. It was the plains.
Everywhere.
No, only now do we. The trees were an invasive species, in part because the fort sat on a limestone bluff. His choice would prove troublesome. While many of the soldiers were familiar with carpentry, few had any experience with stone masonry. It was on this day,
September 10.
In 1863, in the Civil War, the 3rd Minnesota Volunteer Infantry Regiment was involved in the capture of Little Rock, Arkansas. A painting of their victory into the city hangs in the governor's office in the state capitol, where Cockwomble is probably drawing mustaches on all the soldiers.
I have breaking news about him, too. He'll probably run.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. The tweet didn't say that. It was from Chris Eggert.
On this day,
September 10,
in he'll run because there's nothing else he can do. No one else would have him.
He's unqualified
Kenny,
for anything
I'll agree
else.
with that because one of our moles tipped us off, too, that most likely will be happening.
Yeah.
Oh, you're just ruined my day.
Sorry to bring everybody down.
Not positive
What are you more
Thursday.
sad about, that or Kaprasov?
The tie. On this day in 1934,
September 10.
has to do with baseball.
Millers?
Oh.
I give up.
Roger Maris was born in Hibbing. In 1961, he hit 61 home runs for the Yankees, breaking Babe Ruth's single-season record, which had stood for 34 years. Maris's record was broken 37 years later by the drugged-up Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa.
Right.
How did we let him get away, Maris?
On this day...
Well, there's this thing called the draft, you know.
Oh, okay.
On this day...
September
Plus,
10.
we didn't have a team yet, did we?
No.
Okay.
On this day...
September 10.
In 1988... the Minneapolis Sculpture Garden opened alongside the Walker Art Center, designed by modernist architect Edward Larrabee Barnes in collaboration with landscape architect Peter Rothschild. It was the home of the famous Spoon Bridge and Cherry by Cousin, Van Bruggen, and Klaus Oldenburg.
Show of hands, how many have canned apricots in the spoon? Come on, everybody, admit it. Come on, just me?
I have it, yeah.
And on this day,
On September 10th.
there are no items posted for sports disappointment history, except there will be next year.
Next year, yeah.
Because it was on this day in 2025 we learned that the commie has rejected a very handsome offer from the Wild and probably intends to move along.
Boy,
Darn it.
If I may, what Chris referenced there earlier, yesterday, Tom Hauser from Channel 5 downstairs asked Walls if he was leaning toward running again, and Walls replied, quote, "It's a safe assumption."
Yep.
But the final decision has not been made.
And I've been thinking about the question you asked, Joe. I think, for me, it's more heartbreaking that the commie is leaving, because I'm already used to this fraud.
And we're all assuming
criminal.
he's going to get reelected anyway.
Yeah.
That's great.
And the commie,
he's done a dreadful job.
but
Why
the commie gives me a ray of hope. He's fun to watch. He makes my hockey viewing life pleasant.
Well, look at it this way, then. You'll get a hell of a year out of him as he intends to be impressive for the next ownership.
Yeah.
My prediction: he'll be a Wild forever.
That's not out of the realm of possibility.
We're going to
It doesn't happen
anymore.
anymore.
We'll figure it out.
It never happens.
We'll get him a shorter contract. We'll give him a 3
No,
to 5 year
Leopold wants him to have 8 years. Or is this 8 years, John?
8 years, 128 million.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Leopold will.
Rook, I know you weren't here for the pre-show meeting.
Leopold is not giving up yet.
Copy that.
Okay.
He should.
How are
Thank you, GLers.
Chris.
Hey, do us a favor and hit subscribe on the Garage Logic YouTube channel. That's right. Garage Logic has a YouTube channel, and you can watch the show each and every single day, starting right around noon. You can also see full segments. There's video shorts. There's behind-the-scenes footage. It's all there for you. Just search Garage Logic on YouTube, where you can interact, by the way, when you watch the show each and every single day. And follow us on all of our social media channels, which includes Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And you can also sign up for the Daily Logician. That's an email that comes right to your inbox each and every single day, and it includes the most recent episode of the podcast. Sign up today and find out more at garagelogic.com. Time once again to check in with our guy, Mr. Money Talk. Josh Arnold is with us once again right here in Garage Logic, and now is the time for you to do the same, so do not delay. Do exactly what I did and pick up that phone and dial 952-925-5608. That number once again is 952-925-5608. When you call that number, you're going to get Josh, and he is there for you for that free, yes, I use the word free, 48-minute financial consultation with absolutely zero obligation, and he will always give you the straight talk. He will never give you the sugar-coated advice, and he is on the line with us once again right here in Garage Logic. And Josh, what did you just tell me? The richest man in the world is no longer Elon Musk?
How do you like that?
Wow.
The richest man in the world over the course of time, or at least, has gone from people like Warren Buffett, who's now further down on the list, to Bernard Arnault, a European who had a fashion empire. Then it became Jeff Bezos of Amazon. And then even after he got divorced, he was still the top dog. And then there was Elon Musk, but all along lurking in the shadows, still owning 40% of a major company, Larry Ellison, at age 81, now the richest man in the world. He sold very few shares and only to pay capital gains taxes, but mostly when he needs money, he borrows against the shares that he owns. And he has established, quite an empire based on his data company, Oracle, which has continued to expand. Oracle reported their numbers last night. They missed on the top line. They missed on the bottom line. But they threw this little nugget out there that caused the stock to jump today $100 a share. A little nugget? Well, their cloud business, their cloud infrastructure business, grew 77% to $18 billion. Well, the percentage is huge, but it's off a very low base. They then came out and said, well, we have not recognized this revenue, but over the next 4 years, we have contracts where our revenue from cloud will go from $18 billion today to $125 billion in the next 4 years off of some significant contracts that have been signed with the likes of TikTok, OpenAI, and others. Oracle's cloud is also used by Microsoft and Amazon and Google to cover their overages. So plenty of demand for Oracle's cloud, and that is pushed the stock to an all-time high on a very big parabolic move. Money to go into Oracle has come out of Apple, came out of Amazon, came out of Meta, all to go into Oracle. Now, that might last a longer time. It could last a shorter time, but it definitely has changed the dynamic and has also, I'll say, Oracle's news and the use of their cloud has also helped the semiconductors, whether it's NVIDIA or AMD or Broadcom, which also took a nice move up, and then other, we'll call cloud providers such as Nebius and CoreWeave. So that whole complex has moved up and moved up significantly. Nonetheless, even with these contracts, Oracle may at some point move up in the standings in terms of the cloud, but Amazon is still the leader, followed by Microsoft and then Google, and then Oracle currently. But the use of, we'll say, the cloud, and particularly the cloud storage capabilities, and add in artificial intelligence, which we have talked about before being a huge shift going forward is going to be around for a while. Now, I did say money has come out of Apple. Apple is the worst performer on the Dow and probably one of the poorer performers in NASDAQ and on the S&P as well. Analysts will say sold the news of Apple's event yesterday, introducing their i17 model, some new AirPods, and some other very interesting features. Many users like the new introduction of the products, which will go on, we'll say, pre-order Friday and be available for sale next week. I found the new Apple Air, which is a thinner design, bigger screen. It does have only one camera instead of two, but that could be a very interesting product and could show the pathway for some new slimmer design coming from Apple in the future. Analysts also did not like that Apple was barely increasing the price of some of their phones, and that's the first price increase since 2017. That's a long way to go without an increase. I think some of the analysts are concerned that not increasing prices more, could harm Apple's margins, although Apple did say in their earnings report a few weeks ago that margins would actually expand and not contract. To me, this pullback in shares, it has happened numerous times after Apple's iPhone introductions, only to be made up the quarter continues. Another issue, of course, that disappointed analysts is, where's the AI? Where's the AI? Well, there's plenty of AI within Apple. Much of that will operate on the edge within the phone. And they did show one product that I think is tremendous, particularly in the use of artificial intelligence, and that's a translation feature in the new AirPods. So when you're traveling, when you travel, say, to New York, you'll be able to understand people speaking in Brooklyn. One other little tidbit, and this could help tilt the Fed next week, the cutting interest rate. Producer price index numbers came out much lower than had been expected.
Excellent advice, as always, Mr. Money Talk. You heard him, GLers. Now is the time for you to pick up the phone and make the call for that free 48-minute financial consultation with absolutely zero obligation. And you do that just like I did by dialing 952-925-5608, where you always get straight talk and never, ever sugar-coated advice. Josh, once again, thank you so much for the time and the chat. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorser.